Hey, listeners, have you ever wondered what you're missing on the Patreon?
Let us ask you these questions. Do you like the prefix? There's an extended version of it every week on the Patreon called the a la carte.
Do you miss your favorite dead celebrities? We have a medium who comes on to talk to them on the Patreon.
Are you an astrology buff? We have an astrologer who comes to the Patreon to read the celebrity stars.
Do you want to hear what we edit out of the podcast? Then you can listen to our cutting room floor episodes on the Patreon.
Do you ever wish we could fix you? Then listen to our all-tier advice episodes right now on the Patreon.
And if you ever want to kiki with other listeners of this pod, come to one of our hilarious live Zoom spectaculars.
Still not convinced? No problem. Head on over to patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople to listen to an example episode of each of these, absolutely free. See you on Patreon.
Where's Shelley? This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where two reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the prefix, your weekly pop culture roundup.
Listeners, here we are. The third week of Pride, the third week of June. Happy Father's Day to all the daddies and zaddies out there listening to this podcast. Christopher, I haven't done anything Pride-y yet. It hasn't really felt like Pride Month to me because I normally do a Pride show and I didn't this year. And so I feel a little bit less Pride-y at the moment.
Because you hate yourself.
Because I'm a self-loathing homosexual. Is there any other kind?
I went to Brooklyn Pride last weekend. So actually, I did do something Pride-y. So I have one up on you for once.
Oh, you know what I'd love to do this weekend? The Mermaid Parade is in Brooklyn this coming weekend, isn't it? Have you ever been before?
Yeah. No, I don't think I have.
I've never been.
We might have to. Maybe I know. It would have been a million years ago, but I haven't been in a long time. So
it's like every year I hear about it afterwards and say I'm going to go, and I never go. And everyone who goes says it's just such a blast.
Well, we might have to do it.
I won't dress as a mermaid because I don't think I'd be.
I'm just going to dress
like
myself.
Yeah.
No, me either.
But as far as gay pride goes, I've been meaning to say something to you that I've been laughing about for weeks about the gayest thing that I've seen during gay pride so far, which is I think people who know the two of us or even people who listen to this podcast would think that on a conventional level, I am gayer than you. I mean, I just believe that people think that in general. But when you come out with a gay doozy, you really sometimes knock me right on my keister. I already know what you're going to say. Because a couple of weeks ago, in your Instagram story, you teased the new season of The Gilded Age, and the caption you wrote along with it was, "My body is ready." And I was like, this faggot.
No, I thought you were going to say... I thought you were going to say the thing that I texted you guys today about R. Kelly.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. I'm glad you reminded me about your R. Kelly text. We're going to talk about R. Kelly in a minute. No one should even be smiling when the name R. Kelly is mentioned.
No. And I'm snorting.
We'll talk about him in a couple of minutes.
You've been waiting that long.
I keep forgetting about it.
The Gilded Age is the best.
Why do I not watch it regularly? It's so stupid.
Dominic, because nothing happens. Like not one thing happens in the show.
I'm going to start watching it. And once I heard your body was ready, I was like, well, you know what? I got to get my body ready too for this shit.
I'm obsessed with it. It's so good. Dominic, there's not one plot point that happens. Like one of the episodes, a woman, they were like, will this person come to a party? And then at the end of it, she comes to the party. Like that's the episode.
I was sort of like Luke. I love Carrie Coon. I love Christine Baranski. And Donna Murphy is also in it, right? You definitely know who she is. And I believe she's in it. I believe I saw her in season 1.
Oh, yeah, she's in it. Yeah. She's great in it.
I love her. I love her.
Yeah. No, she's really good. She's this like really high society woman that they all want to impress. Yeah, she's really good. But again, it's like, like this person didn't come to my like event. Like, and then like that's the end of the scene. Like
sounds like us.
It took like seasons of it for like there to be real stakes of anything.
That sounds like us at the duplex, but with better clothes. Actually, like that is literally what we do every Friday.
100%.
So, by the way, right at the top, before we get into the hottest news of the week, I understand that there's this impression out there that me, Dominick Pupa, does not like the nation of Canada. And when I tell you that, nothing could be further from the truth. My annual autumnal weekend in Montreal is one of my favorites of the year. When I have been saying online about us being at war with Canada, I've meant what's going on in the news with tariffs and threatened colonization and all this other stuff. It's not me personally. It's the United States that seems to think Canada's our assistant and we could just take them over whenever we want. I love Canada. The war with Canada is not one I'm starting.
And the other reason I even brought this up to Dominick was because people sent in these things being like, it seems like Dominick really doesn't like Canada. Like, why? Like,
no,
we're a great nation. Like, DMing us, like, and not as a joke. Like, it was like earnest. And like, people were like,
no,
I hope maybe Dominick should come to Canada and see how great it is. I'm like, guys, this is a joke. Like,
these are sensitive
absolutely
times.
Joking.
Yeah.
To be fair, I believe that you were in Canada when this podcast first launched.
Oh, that might be true. That might be
March
true.
of 2023.
Yeah.
I believe that on March 1st of 2023, which is when we launched, you were in Montreal because I was in Vermont and we weren't far away from each other. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
So Dominick was in Canada whenever this podcast started. That's all.
So Canada is a bastard step parent of this podcast. So of course I love Canada, as I would love any bastard step parent. But my apologies.
Yeah, we just got random. We had random DMs from people, and I was like, guys, like we're 100% joking. Like he's 100% joking.
So we have a little Canada block of stories here, which is thrilling as well. This is my favorite.
to honor Canada.
This is my favorite story of the week. A gentleman known as Aubrey O'Gay, but who colloquially around the world is known as Drake. This queen can't stop. So apparently there is a politician in Toronto. The politician's name, I believe, is Jagmeet Singh. And apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Jagmeet and Drake are friends on social media because Drake is from Toronto. Last week, Kendrick Lamar and SZA were on tour in Toronto. Jagmeet went to the concert and I guess posted that he was at the concert and also enjoying himself. So Drake instant messages Jagmeet on Instagram saying the following: "You're a goof." I mean, at least, you know what? It's nice to know that his DMs are as eloquent as his fucking lyrics. That was a slam, the first slam of this episode. He then takes a screen grab of him calling Jagmeet a goof and posts it on his Instagram as if to say, like, look at me going after this guy that's supposed to be my friend because he's at my enemy's concert and I'm being such a pussy about it that this thing from a year and even 2 years ago is still actively going on in my head. Jagmeet then posts a statement. Jagmeet posts a statement backtracking and saying, like, Toronto forever. I was there to see SZA. It's always Drake over Kendrick. Sir, you're a public official. What the fuck are you? Why are you kowtowing to Aubrey O'Gay?
He desperately wants to be friends with Drake. He desperately wants to be friends with a celebrity. So he's like, no, what? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I would also go for SZA, but yeah. But also Drake, like, stop. Like,
he can't.
Like, he needs to be like, what he should be doing to fix him again is like, he should be like, so over it, like, oh, that stupid thing he had to go on the Super Bowl and like make fun of me, like, loser. Like, that's what he needs to be doing, not like going into people's DMs that are at a concert and being like, you're a loser for being at this concert of this other person. Does that make sense?
I mean, it's beyond, it's not even like funny, stupid, juvenile. It's sort of like,
just like, I'm petty.
Yeah. It's like I'm actually cringing, not just saying it because it's a word everyone uses. Like, why would you post that you did that? You shouldn't tell anybody you give a shit. Ye gads.
No.
Staying in Canada, and we're taking a wide left to stay in Canada, but allow me to recite the following sentence to you. Madonna is related to the new Pope.
I forgot to send this to you.
I mean, at least one good thing happened this year.
I know.
A genealogist has done the research, and Madonna is a ninth cousin of Pope Leo. Because remember, Pope Leo's from Chicago, Madonna's from Michigan. And strangely enough, He is also several cousins removed from other celebrities such as Justin Bieber and Angelina Jolie, going back many generations. And I read one article, it's all tied to this one person from a billion years ago in Canada, who also has the Pope related to Justin Trudeau and everybody. So,
but that, like, if you go far back enough, we're all related.
I'm certain.
Wink,
yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
it's like Viola Davis is my stepsister. I could find the math for it. There's no doubt.
Yeah, like you're my second cousin, Dominic, in some way. I know. I'm certain of it.
I don't even want. Something happened in the lab, and you're probably my son. I don't want to offend your parents, but everyone knows that's what happened. You were adopted.
Something happened in the lab.
So anyway, that's how I'm getting that's how we're getting more stories to Canada to cover my humiliation for people thinking I hate it. Moving back to the United States, we're particularly excited about this because we did a Fixing Dead People where Dame Erin Bagwell brought legendary Joan Rivers back to our planet for an hour. It's a great episode. If you have the Patreon, please listen to it. Now it is
for 90 minutes.
Oh, actually. 90 minutes. Oh God, we couldn't shut up.
Yes. No, it's a big mama. Yeah.
There has been a Joan Rivers biopic being tossed around, and it appears now that Natasha Lyonne is the front runner to play her in the film. And I have to say, I mostly like this choice.
That's her Oscar. Like, it really is.
I got chills. Chills when you said that. Maybe it is.
She's really good. I was watching the new Poker Face, and like she is, her character in it is just so annoying because she's just always like, yeah, we were going over to the whatever. Like her whole little thing that she's
maybe you should play Joan Rivers in the biopic.
She's like, she's like, that's really weird because, but like she's a really good actor. It's what you like when I do that. And she's always like hunched over like this in the show.
I'm now convinced that you and I should play Joan and Melissa in the biopic. Obviously.
She would be perfect for it.
Yeah, she is actually perfect for it. I'm thrilled for her because I do love her.
Versus like some fucking idiot that they like. What they try to make like Jennifer Lawrence do it. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's so many like horrible casting versions of it where they're like,
exactly.
They're like, Anna de Armas is going to be her. I'm like, no, God. You know what I mean? But like Natasha Lyonne, that's awesome. Like at least at the beginning of Oscar season, that's Oscar bait.
It seems perfect. It was not someone I would have thought of, but it seems perfect. Maybe we would have thought of her if we had a long time to think about it. But can you please impersonate her one more time before we move forward?
I know you love it. But she's like, well, the thing about it is like, I don't really know if you're telling the truth. She's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I rarely make you laugh this much.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Isn't this it?
Yes, it's the shoulders. Like, you're doing the shoulders. You look like Gollum.
Yeah.
You're much more Gollum than Natasha Lyonne is.
In the show, she's like that.
I know.
She
I understand.
has like scoliosis.
Oh my God. Moving along, switching tones completely. Well, last week, I make a little list as we go on for the week. R. Kelly last week, his attorneys come forward and say, we want Donald Trump to give a pardon to him. Because that's now the impression we're giving is that because now that the Chrisleys are out of jail, everyone now thinks he's giving these out like Monopoly get out of jail free cards.
It's like, yes. Remember, Joe Exotic was like,
sure,
like ding, 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 hello,
yeah,
and
Karen Huger is sitting in a corner going, "What? No one's going to put me on a list for this. Nobody."
Jen Shaw is like, oh, we already made these jokes. Remember, I said Jen Shaw was like hitting the bars, being like, Lizzie,
oh my God, we did make these jokes
like,
already. Good Lord. No original.
Anyway, continue.
But then this morning, because we tape the prefix on Tuesdays, this morning we wake up, R. Kelly rushed to the hospital after overdosing in prison. As his lawyer alleges, it was part of a wild murder plot. What in the Agatha Shitsty is this that's happening in this prison? He's been in jail for 100 years. Now someone's going to kill him for what? Because he's connected to the City trial. And then when we did this today, when I said he overdosed, Christopher DeRosa wrote back the group text and said, on what? Cock? You're really on a roll today.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
That was the gayest thing I heard. It wasn't. You saying my body is ready for Gilded Age, much gayer than you talking about cock. I'm sorry.
And then you texted back and said, I didn't even know that was possible.
Oh, I didn't know you can. I don't think it's possible to overdose on cock.
Overdose on cock.
It's always the right amount. It's always the right amount.
I was picturing you pretending to be me and saying, overdose on what? Cock. I can't even say it. Oh, God.
I mean, normally at this point, when we know someone's ill, we wish them well. We're not going to in this case. He can rot.
No. Also, like, the question stands, overdosed on what? Like, how did he overdose on anything?
Well, supposedly, I read in one of the rags that he is given medication every day and that a prison guard accidentally gave him more of his medication than he was. So even calling it an overdose is somewhat misleading. But again, like, who gives a shit?
But again, gave him 2 pills instead of 1. Like, what is he? That's not an overdose.
What is it? What do you think they're giving him? Cialis? Like, what are they giving him in prison?
Yeah, like what? Honestly,
Let him
probably.
Someone we are praying for is Justin Bieber, who has had quite a week on the interwebs. I feel like Justin Bieber and Britney Spears are people that make the news most for the shit that they post on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, like, last week he posted on Father's Day, like, I am not a dad to be fucked with, just a bunch of weird shit. And then he posted the other day after Father's Day, this sort of screed on Instagram about people asking him if he is okay. And he wrote, quit asking me if I'm okay. Quit asking me how I'm doing. I don't do that to you because I know how life is for all of us. It's hard. Let's encourage our people to not project our insecurities onto one another. Your concern doesn't come off as care. It's just oppressive, weirdo. So, I mean, it sounds like he's speaking directly to us, but I don't think that he was. He didn't he didn't hashtag the pod, even though we are genuinely concerned about it. No. But he goes on to post a text message conversation with someone that he is defriending by
who
text,
is this?
when we don't know
I need
who
to know
it is.
Immediately.
We don't know who it is. But he's saying to the friend, you know, my anger is a response to pain that I've been through. This friendship is officially over. I will never accept a man calling my anger as lashing out. I enjoyed our short-lived relationship. He goes on to call him a pussy, but we never see who this person is. But I will say this to Justin. You know, if you don't want us to give a shit, you can't post a multi-page conversation like that
and expect all over the internet.
Right, expect fans and non-fans to just be like, okay, we're just going to sit here silently while you show us the inside of your phone. It just, Justin, you know it doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Where you're berating someone.
You know it doesn't work that way. We didn't make the rules. And I know sometimes we're a little hard on you, but we do genuinely like you and do give a shit about you. We've tried to fix you. I'm trying not to sound condescending, which I think is hard just with my normal voice. I think it's my uvula. I think I got a real condescending one when I came out into the world. Okay. I got like a condescending, whatever, my little tongue bag.
Uvula.
And then people are like, oh, you know, Hailey Bieber didn't post a Father's Day tribute. I'm like, is she obligated to do that? My mother didn't post one about my dad. I know she thinks he's a good dad.
Yeah, same. It's like, anyway, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think he's yet in candle territory, but we are praying for him for sure. So
not candle territory.
He's not worthy of an FFP candle yet. He can't be. You can pray for him individually, but we're not going to make money off of it yet.
No, it is, but it is hard when it's like, don't be concerned about me, and then it's like, here's me screaming at someone on text, like,
who I'm not going to identify, who always puts that person, it puts that person at risk. And innocent people, because now we're going to make up who it is. In fact, I'm just going to pretend, actually, I'm going to issue a factual statement that it was Drake, and we're going to move on. He was talking to Drake.
Okay, good.
You heard it here. Please spell our names right and use FFP as the exclusive. Okay, here we go. Thomas Louise Cruz back in the news. Why? Because it's another week on our planet, and Tom Cruise can't stop, won't stop. He is the world's oldest action star. And possibly an accessory to murder. But here we go. Tom Cruise, who has been nominated several times for an Oscar and not won, is receiving an honorary Oscar this year. He was on the list of people who will be receiving one. Also on the list with Tom Cruise is Debbie Allen, production designer Wynn Thomas. Those 3 people are getting honorary Oscars and getting the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award this year at the Academy Awards. The one and only Dolly Louise Parton, who who better than Dolly Parton to receive the Jean Hersholt Award? Tom Cruise released a statement saying he was so happy to know he was getting an honorary Oscar, and he was so moved by it that at his speech later this year, when he accepts the award, he will reveal the location of Shelley Miscavige. I'm quoting directly from his reps. I'm quoting directly from his reps.
You haven't done that in a long time when you stuck something in like that.
I don't know how to tell you this, but she's been working at a Chick-fil-A in Temecula for the past 11 years. Sorry. They had an amicable divorce. We didn't care. We just let her go. God. She's been hiding in plain sight. Sorry about it.
I can't.
So congratulations, Tom Cruise. Last week, the Guinness Book. This week, an honorary Oscar. It never stops.
I can't.
It never stops when you're a star.
This is the thing. It's like, why are people coming out of the woodwork to like give him random awards for no reason? That's what I don't like.
I don't know.
All these other people?
Well, he's in the twilight. That's what happens when you turn 60. But, people just start giving you things in case you kick the bucket, I guess.
Yeah. Or one of those parachutes does end up just burning to a crisp and then he...
Bye, Tom.
Know what I mean? Like, then he's out of there.
Speaking of the candles.
Where's Shelley?
Where's Shelley? Speaking of the candles, this is the last week for the reissue of Our Candles, correct?
Yeah, you got like a day and a half. When you're hearing this on Wednesday, you got like a day and a half to order. So get in there.
To get the reissue of the Clitorally and Hey Y'all candles for the summer. And we're not just talking shit. They are almost gone. They've gone like hotcakes this time. So thank you for being so loving to our candle collection and wanting to pray for
You can just search them on Fixing Famous People Candles or go to waxcabincandleco.com.
And while we're here, this coming Sunday, the 22 of June at 7:30 p.m., we will be having the Fixing Famous People live Pride Zoom. Please attend. It is for the Long Island Iced tier family of the Patreon. So if you're not part of that family, please join it and come. The Zooms are always a fucking riot, and they last longer than they should, and someone always gets drunk and spills information about their family that they're not supposed to, and
which we
love and we take notes just in case.
And surprisingly, it's not me or Dominic for once.
It is not, rather, and they're always fun. Also, we've been getting such great feedback about the interview, the Featuring Famous People interview that we did with Amanda Knox. And I know some of you think that it was a comedy bit and we didn't actually interview her and that maybe it's a drag queen or a skit. Please press play and listen to it, because
wait, did people really believe?
Oh yeah. Someone at the duplex last week was like, no, honestly, like what happens when I press play? It's going to be like some jokes about killing somebody. I'm like, no, it's actually Amanda Knox and she didn't kill anybody. And you should really listen to the interview, because people who have listened to it are like, saying like, when did the two of you turn into Barbara Walters and her twin? Like, well, that's what we do during the day. Don't forget.
Someone commented like today and said, best interview I've ever listened to.
Oh, well.
Again, was that a bot? Maybe. But like,
you know what I say?
Regardless, someone said that.
Take that, Mike Wallace. And well, honestly, take that, Diane Sawyer. And by take that, I mean
Diane Sawyer,
a swift
you can rock.
And if you listen to the Amanda Knox interview, you will know even more why it's not just Diane Sawyer we should be mad at. There are other celebrities you should be mad at as well.
Oh, I'm nominating for her to go on the Invincibles list because she deserves, like,
Amanda or the other people that we speak about?
No, Diane Sawyer. She's invincible because she's wronged so many people and no one cares except for me.
That's a good one. Maybe we should try to fix Diane Sawyer. And if you don't know what we're talking about, we have to do a full episode on, as the years go by, celebrities who have been formerly troubled keep recounting the worst moment of their lives. And one by one, they're all starting to say, it was that fucking interview I did with Diane Sawyer. That was the mistake when shit went wrong. And Diane Sawyer won't be held accountable, I'm assuming because of pretty privilege. She's also very tall. I've met her several times and it's intimidating. I'm also like, very short. So you know who else is tall? Yeah. Webster.
She's 5'10".
Not Webster, who like 5% of the audience is laughing and everyone else is like, what are you talking about? The duplex. Oh, you weren't there this Friday because you had to work. But
Hassan told me. Hassan told me.
They're listeners at the duplex. Like, we love when that happens. Visiting Danny or Danielle, and she was with her friend Emily. I do not remember the name of Danielle's hot husband who was there as well, but I will tell you, they came up. I was sitting with Elaine, and they very sweetly came up and asked well, I don't even think they asked who I was because they knew because my voice could cut coal. And I was holding court and they came in and they were so sweet and they just had the nicest things to say. And honestly, of all the wonderful things that have happened since we started this podcast, that's probably the best is when people come up. And Danielle and Emily were sweet. And like I said, Danielle was there with her husband and her husband was very sincere and said like that this podcast helped get him through like the post-COVID current situation malaise and how much he looks forward to it. And it was quite lovely. And thank you. And you're welcome. And we're just going to keep doing this until one of us drops, basically. But thank you for please stop us if you see us. Only if you're nice, because if you're mean, we're gonna have to.
Well, you're gonna have. You're in a problem on your hands.
We're gonna be mean back. We're gonna win. It's gonna get ugly.
Fight.
Yeah, you don't want a piece of this pie, baby. You don't. But if you hate us, that's good. You should. There are reasons to, but you just keep it. Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself.
Getting back to the quote unquote news, there's this.
No, but that is really nice, and that's really like always, like especially when we went on the holiday tour of your show. Like I truly was like, oh wow, this really like someone brought a candle for us to sign. Like it was hilarious.
It was all sorts of shit. People drove from miles to come meet us. It was really, really wonderful, and thank you for the support always. Wow. We pause for an occasional annual bout with seriousness, and now we move on to talk about Joy Behar.
Okay, moving on. Yeah, this is too weird.
Back to Joy Behar. So there's this Barbara Walters doc that's out, and it's screening, and it's going to stream somewhere. I mean, just Google it. But so there's all these Barbara Walters stories that are going around. So Joy Behar, I think it's in the doc, but I'm not 100% sure. It talks about one of the many times that Barbara Walters fired Joy Behar from The View was because she spilled in an interview that they had hired Rosie O'Donnell, and Barbara wanted to do it on stage at the Emmys. Joy apparently had no idea that this information was under lock and key and just spilled it to someone, and Barbara was furious and fired her. I believe she hired her at the end of the day and then refired her again a couple of years later. But it was a funny story.
Picture Joy being like, "What? So what? Who cares? What? I didn't know."
Care.
Yeah,
she's 80. Joy is 82 years old.
She doesn't look like it at all.
She definitely doesn't look like it. But I love that there are some people that are hovering around that age and we're always on like mental breakdown watch. And then there are other people who were just giving a platform for an hour a day on daytime television to just spew their nonsense. Like she's older than Joe Biden, but
to just say
sits on a show where they critique Joe Biden. It's just very funny to me. So she's got all the faculties.
Yeah.
You know who else has all of her faculties? Oprah Louise Winfrey, who also tells the story in the Barbara doc that Barbara's the reason that she never had children.
Because Barbara's like, kids, blah. And
no,
Oprah was like, yeah, you're right.
No, it goes like this because Barbara apparently said to Oprah, you should have kids. They're the greatest joy in life. And Oprah was like, that's not what I'm seeing with you and your daughter. Like I see a very complicated, relationship where this person's mother is one of the most famous people in the world, and all the baggage that relationship has had. Famously, I might add now, like Barbara and her daughter got along, like really, like they had a very complicated relationship. But yeah, think of the trust fund babies that were never brought into this world because of you, Barbara Walters. Have I been saying Barbara Streisand or Barbara Walters?
No, you said no.
Have I been saying Walters? I almost just said Streisand, but okay. She's another one, by the way, 83 years old. No one's questioning her sanity. Why?
They should be. after that book. Yeah.
And speaking of Barbara Streisand, yesterday the story started circulating again for some reason. I don't know why, that she just doesn't remember whether or not she had sex with Warren Beatty. She knows that they slept in the same bed together, but cannot recall if there was penetration.
Okay,
so again,
that's because she was drugged, probably. By the way,
I look at it a different way, where I'm like, if you've had so much A-list dick that you can't remember if you even
she's
had
like,
one of the
she's like, was it in me? Wasn't it? Yeah, sure.
Baby, come on.
I know, but that's at the time of like the Quaaludes were like at the peak. You know what I mean?
God, I wish.
That's what I was
saying. Wondering the wrong time. And speaking of Oprah, remember James Fry, the author who wrote, and let me get the book right because I remember this in
A Million Little Pieces.
Thank you, because I wasn't sure.
Are you kidding me?
But I wasn't sure if you were like old and coherent enough to know, because this is 20 years ago.
Dominic, I was raised by Oprah.
I understand that, Christopher, but
like I remember all the greats.
I don't want to take advantage
Tom
of
Cruise
this
jumping on the
when you were a
couch.
child.
You get a car. You know what I mean? Like that. Please.
So well, I'm going to say she.
He's like Papa.
He's written a new book, and all anyone wants to talk about is Oprah, and he's basically like slamming her.
Like
left
remember
to
when
right.
Oprah like crucified you on? Yeah,
he's just saying, and I quote: "It's the brutal hypocrisy of it. She's told more lies to the public times 1,000 than I ever have." That's what he says about Oprah.
Even if that's true, she didn't say a million lies to get a platform. She got a platform and then started spewing whatever lies she wanted to do and create all these charlatans like Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz.
The Horcruxes,
but,
right?
Like, yeah. But Chelsea, by the way, Chelsea Devontes calls them her Oprah's harem, which I think is just as funny. But like, he got famous off of this embellished memoir. That was fact checked by people, and then Oprah was like, "Oh, I look like an idiot now, so I have to crucify you on national television."
I'm asking if James,
which as a 12-year-old little child was watching and being like, "Yes, kill him."
I am asking if he's gay because his statement is very bitchy, and he says, "Quote: You might be the most influential lady in this world. You won't stop me. I will lower my head and I will walk forward, and I'll keep throwing punches until I die. You can't stop me." Now, if Oprah was to release a statement, I think it would be, "Hi, I'm not trying to stop you. I don't care."
Yeah, like who? Yeah. Question mark. And
she probably has forgotten that he existed. She's made so many authors famous in the 20 years since then. She's probably like, "Yeah, I read your book report back in the O's. It wasn't that good to begin with."
Again, none of us would have ever known who he was if it were not for Oprah, by the way. So the only reason he has anyone that's listening to what he's quoting is because of her.
But if you hate Oprah so much that you need James Fry to succeed, his latest book, Next to Heaven, comes out next month. You can buy it. I believe it's fiction this time. Actual fiction.
Yeah, thank God.
You know what's fiction now? The friendship between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively.
Goodbye.
Sources say it is officially over. The momentary involvement that Taylor had with possibly getting her text messages subpoenaed has put her off to Blake entirely. And they're just not speaking at all.
No, because she can't. Taylor could never come back from that.
Well, neither can Blake. And Blake is apparently...
But I'm saying, like, if those texts were out, like, Taylor could never come back from that. And first of all, the Swifties themselves would descend upon them and, like, it would turn into a whole... Who knows how many celebrities' careers would be destroyed by the Swifties. Two, it would just, like, everyone that doesn't like her, like, we would be, like, going through every single word of those text messages on this podcast.
Every
like,
Swiftie would be reading them and be like, see, she is gay. This is the proof. Okay, Ruth, enough. Come on.
She's 100%.
So Blake, however, is trying to still protect Taylor because in motions that she's going back and forth with the court with, she's saying, "I do not want Taylor Swift's text messages as part of this evidence because it's not pertinent to the case." I mean, of course, the court will decide. I'm sure Justin Baldoni's camp is like, "Unseal these. Let's go into Taylor's phone and look at it."
But it's also like, this has nothing to do with the case.
It feels like
I'm sure there's some whole thing, but it's like they're just trying to do this. Like, remember whenever like they were going to subpoena her and her lawyer was like, "You're literally doing this for publicity and there's no reason for her to be here." Like, I have to say that I agree with that.
I feel like...
Don't you think?
Absolutely. I also think they're in the grasping at straws stage. I don't know the Latin.
100%.
I don't know the Latin term for that in court, but this sort of is like, it smells done.
Mea culpa. Yeah, like what the verse grasping at straws. What would that
I don't know.
be?
Smoke's coming out of the toaster here. Like we're almost done with Blake and Justin. I only see, by the way, no matter how this turns out, because if he had like physically assaulted someone, we would have known by now. He only comes out as he's the only winner here because no one knew who he was before. No one, like 0%, obviously not
cared,
but maybe 2% did. And now 100% of us know who he is. And so the next thing he does, we're all gonna watch. And he's talented and nice looking, and he'll put this all behind him. Blake, however, is the one who is, to me, scarred for life. She's just got a scarlet letter B on her front and back now forever because they're piling on. There's someone, I didn't put this story in last week's prefix, but someone like did a live TikTok after Blake Lively walked out of a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton somewhere in New York and was like talking about how rude she was to the salespeople. It's like, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they weren't even inside, I'm sure.
Probably not.
Like they weren't,
No.
they're just making it up on the side of the street.
So she's just dumb for it. Like everything she does moving forward will be interpreted as something bitchy. Megan Fox and MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, her estranged, possibly now ex-spouse, have named their baby. Are you ready? Do you know what the name is yet already, or would you like to guess?
No, I actually don't know what it is.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Guess what the baby's name is. This is truly an exercise in futility because it is like
dolphin scream or something. Like it's something like that.
No, the thing is, I actually like the first name. Because it's them, I'm rolling my eyes. It's Saga Blade Fox Baker. Fox-Baker is the last name.
Dolphin Scream was kind of close to that. Saga Blade.
Saga Blade? Saga is actually sort of
a game that I played on PlayStation 1. Like Saga Blade is definitely like Saga Blade 4.
I think Blade is the middle name. Saga, the first name. I don't know. I sort of like Saga the way that I would like the name Seven. Like it feels original,
sure.
But it's not like
it's
flower pot, you know? It's
or somersault.
Yes, thank you. It sounds not regal, but it sounds at least, doable. Although the nickname would be Sog. So that's something you got to think of, isn't it? Sog, because Sog sounds like wet, like damp.
Yeah, like soggy.
I don't know. Congratulations. I don't know. I'm sure this will shock you, but several reports are saying that Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom's relationship is on the rocks. Because she's been having a rough go of it.
Because he's like, you're an embarrassment.
He's like, you're a space alien. Apparently it started with her album not doing well. Last year was number one. And then it's just becoming, the reports don't say this, but I think the bottom line is it's just becoming too embarrassing to be seen with Katy Perry in public. I don't even know how some of you are going to her concerts and putting it on Instagram. What is wrong with you people? It's pride.
I messaged someone that was there and I was like, was this good? And she was like, for my kids, yes. It was for my kids, it was fun, who were like little. You know what I mean? That's like what it was.
I will say this about Katy Perry. Like, if one of the things you're known for is like shooting shit out of a metal bra, that one thing I have no problem with. That's a spectacle I could get down with. Titty shooting or whatever it's called. Like, that's a good brand. It's just literally everything else she's doing around it, which I don't like.
And to be fair, I bet she's firing back at him and being like, at least I have a fucking career. What the fuck have you done in the last 10 years?
Slam
and he's like,
dunk. Yeah.
Like, humana. You know what I mean? Like, what has he done in the last 10 years? Nothing.
The doctor who gave the fatal doses of ketamine to Matthew Perry has pled guilty. He has not yet been sentenced, but he could go to jail for 40 years.
Good.
And bye to that man.
Those people, if you watch the documentary about him, those people were like making all this money off of him and like giving him, like it was fucked up what happened to him. I hope that he goes to jail.
Rot behind bars. Happy Pride. Elizabeth Hurley.
Speaking of pride.
Speaking of shame is what we're going to talk about with Elizabeth Hurley. She turned 60. She's as gorgeous as ever. She posed naked on the socials, looking absolutely fantastic. Talked about her wonderful life and all sorts of other things, and then said, and this is the year that I fell in love. Oh boy. Oh boy. She's just, I don't know what it is. Billy Ray Cyrus, I don't know. His dick must be a scepter, a magical scepter coated in the poison from Death Becomes Her. I have no idea what this man does to these women. Trish or Tish, Fire Rose, Elizabeth, all of you. What's wrong with you? He's not going to treat you well.
And like every picture of them together, he looks like he was like rolling around in dirt before they like got.
He looks like he took a mud bath before he rolls into a picture.
Yeah.
You got if most of someone's children don't talk to them, you must question whether or not you're going to be in a relationship with them. You owe it to yourself to find out why. That is me giving advice to billionaire Elizabeth Hurley. A juror has been dismissed from the Diddy trial because apparently he lied about his residence or his residence's in the past, and there was someone questioning something about him saying he was a fan of 90s hip hop in his questionnaire. This is what I want to say to anyone doing jury duty. The lie you tell at jury duty is to get out of doing it. You don't tell a lie on the questionnaire.
Not to get on.
Yeah. That's a crime, and that makes people get mistrials. So if you're going to lie, do it before you go. Don't lie once you know you're on the trial, because it fucks things up for everybody else.
Yeah, what you do is you do it. Remember what she does in 30 Rock whenever she dresses up as Princess Leia and walks in and she's like, I can't be on a jury because I'm a hologram. God. Anyway.
Traitors season 4. I could not be more excited about this cast. Dorinda Medley is back. She is being joined by Bruce Vilanch lookalike Travis Kelce's mother.
Yeah. His mom's going to be a traitor, right? There's no way in hell that she's not a traitor.
I don't know.
Donna
There's
Kelce.
A lot of famous people on this one. Monet Exchange from Drag Race is just a fantastic entertainer. She's going to be great on the show. I'm saving some big names for the end here. Mark Ballas from Dancing with the Stars. Portia Williams from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's going to be amazing. Tara Lipinski, the Olympic figure skater. Unfortunately, she's also coming with Johnny Weir, the Olympic figure skater. He's hit or miss for me. I mean, I love and hate him equal parts. He's absolutely
His looks are going to be top notch, and he'll probably actually do really well. I bet he'll be like one of the best, like the breakout stars of the season, actually. And I cannot stand him.
Caroline Stanbury from Real Housewives of Dubai. Colton Underwood from The Bachelor. And I saved my personal favorite and probably yours for last. The one and only Her Royal Highness, Ms. Lisa Rinna, will be on this season of The Traitors.
She needs to be a traitor. Like 100% Lisa Rinna's a traitor, right? There's no way.
I don't know what that conversation's like, because I haven't worked on this show, but I'm dying to know.
Picture her taking her hood off and that hair being underneath it and it all being fucked up. Like,
when I worked on The Bachelor, we used to do this thing in the early episodes when it would be, it's impossible for The Bachelor to get to know 25 women well enough in 8 hours to pick them. So typically, like if 12 are staying, he's picking his 6 or 7 favorites. And then in all honesty, the producers are rounding it out with a combination of who'd be good with him / we have to keep the absolute psychos in here for sure. I'm wondering, I feel like at Traitors, when the producers are deciding from a cast who's going to be a traitor, that must be the most fun fucking conversation, deciding who it's going to be. Like, I'd love to participate in it, but I'd love to just be in the room while those powers that be are having that conversation, because what fucking fun that must be. You always think when you're watching, like, what if this person was a traitor instead? And you think, like, what?
Yeah.
Because God, I just love it. I love the show. It's so entertaining.
They go to great lengths, too, to, like, save them from knowing. Like, there's so many blockades for you to, like, slip up and know who's a traitor and who's not while they're filming the show. That it's, like, crazy. Like, when Dolores was explaining all the shit that they had to do to, like, make it so that you never knew who a traitor was like, fucking crazy.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I can't wait. But a very good cast. And I don't know a lot of the people on it. And I did know a lot of the people in the last one. And I now know who they are. Please.
No, I feel like it's going to be really good. Like Candace is on there. I don't think you said Candace from Potomac is also on there.
Oh, I didn't. Candace Dillard Bassett. Yes, I did not say her name.
Yeah, we have a lot of really good Bravo-y people.
I wonder how long Dorinda will stay on. I'm not saying I want this to happen, but can you imagine if she gets voted off in the first episode again?
That's what everyone's saying. Like, they'll vote her off first again. But I I just don't.
But I don't, it is like sometimes you look at the loudest people in the room and you think to yourself, this person's a threat. I need them to go away, And that's what makes me nervous about Rinna. I'm genuinely scared. I don't want them to get rid of her because she'll be the most entertaining for me. Well, while we're recording the podcast, we get a Stren alert from the Daily Mail. Ariana, and I only bring this up because I feel like a lot of our listeners know who this is, but Ariana Grande has announced a devastating family loss that Nana Marjorie, who she's her grandmother, who she features a lot on her social media,
her grandma died.
Has passed away. Yeah, she was 99 years old. She just passed away, I guess, today.
Oh, she had like all in her newest album, she has all these little voice notes of her grandma talking to her.
The statement says Marjorie Nana Grande passed peacefully in her home and was surrounded by her family and loved ones for every moment of her last few weeks. We thank you for your love, support, and for respecting our privacy as we grieve and celebrate her beautiful, extraordinary life. That's so sweet. 99 years old. Whew. Condolences.
Well, Dominic, we got to go.
Yeah, we do. Let me tell you some of the things that are going to be happening on the a la carte. For those of you Patreonettes or Apple subscribers, a lot more people have been joining the Patreon recently. We sincerely thank you for that and for giving us your feedback about how much you are enjoying it, because everything you hear here, there's twice the amount of material that you're listening to for free. And some of it is a little wilder than what happens here. I mean, we are speaking to dead people on the Patreon, so that's one thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to connect to Joan Rivers and not just listen to my impersonation of
Natasha Lyonne as Joan Rivers
playing her? Yeah. Like, you can do that. I will also say, if you're in the $20 tier, which I understand $20 a month is a lot of money for many people. First of all, think about it this way. Imagine if you came to the duplex and bought Dominic and I each a drink once a month. That's more money than you doing that tier on the Patreon. Does that make sense?
It does.
$20, you're not even getting 2 drinks.
It does make
for
sense.
Me and Dominic
it also mildly
duplex.
sounds like a Save the Children ad, but it does also make sense. Yes. You too.
And for that $20, you too, goodbye.
You too can feed these gay alcoholics with vodka with just $20 a month. Listen to the Patreon. Also, neither of us drink vodka. I don't know why I even said that.
But for $20, you're getting content Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every week of the month. Do you hear me, everyone? Does everyone hear this? And then if it's not on a Monday, it's because you were just at a Zoom on Sunday. So if you want us more times a week, you could have it thrice, as Dominic and I like to say. Thrice.
We need to hire Sally Struthers or Sarah McLachlan to come in here. Look at these faggots. Give them $20 a month. Coming up on the a la carte, Doja Cat's feud with a t-shirt guy who manhandled her. This story is hilarious. Scott Wolf, the hottie from Party of Five. I mean, I don't know any other way to say this, but somehow his wife, who they were amicably divorcing 7 days ago, and as of 3 days ago, she's in a mental health facility, dragged out of their home by cops. We'll talk about that. Nick Cannon, being the host of Lego Master, has spawned a series of jokes that I don't even think I'd repeat on the a la carte. And Ryan Murphy is doing the Ryan Murphy version of John and Carolyn Bassett's romance. God, the John looks good. Rough. The Carolyn Bassett, she's a Temu version. I got to be honest. She's Temu Carolyn Bassett.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
And also, when we spoke on this podcast last week about Billie Eilish's fluid sexuality, we were introduced to a vocalist named Fletcher by many listeners who wanted us to pay attention to this individual. I had never heard of Fletcher before, but reading the stories and the comments that we've gotten from people who listen to this podcast, we'll take a little bit of a deep dive in with her. And also, a couple of shows are closing on Broadway after the Tony Awards because they didn't win any, and we'll tell you which ones when you come to the a la carte. That's also information you could Google. It's much more fun to hear Chris and I talk about it. But we'll give you all of that and much more. And also today we're fixing Anna Delvey right after these vital messages.
Dominic. No.
Christopher. Sorry, I was just gulping a little beverage there.
We have a very hilarious guest that I'm very excited to finally meet after just knowing about you for so long. You know him from his podcast, I Cannot. It's Kendrick Tucker. Thank you for being here.
Oh my God. Thank you for having me. Oh, the applause. Oh my goodness.
We still do that. I don't know why.
I love it. Oh my God. No, I feel like if you add in a laughing track or an applause track, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
So,
no. Those are horribly recorded, in the background, weird clapping. Yeah. That you faintly heard. Yeah.
I feel way gassed up right now, so I'm ready.
You should. Just don't do that. Don't do that when a plane lands because
oh my God, those people. No, those people.
And by the way, because we are a listening medium, I Cannot is spelled Ken. Is it not?
Yes, a little play on the name. I've always wanted my name and the title. I've gone through when you start a podcast, you're like, you know what? This is a terrible title. Let me kind of figure out some things, rebrand. So I finally landed here, and it's a good place. It's a good place.
I cannot is great because it's it's incredible. Because I also cannot,
Okay. Every day.
For the 7 people listening that don't know your show, tell us about it a little bit.
Oh my gosh. So every week, multiple times a week, I don't know how in the world I'm doing multiple episodes a week because I feel like I just get called to certain things happen and you just like, you know what, let me hop on the microphone and scream because,
like the people want this from me, so I'm going to do it. Yeah,
exactly. The people around me don't care. So like, I have to project to people that do. So I hop on the microphone and I just go to town. Every Sunday, I do a live show with my friend, Emily Hanks. We do a live show where we kind of wrap up the week's pop culture and all that kind of stuff. We put that out on Sundays. And then between Monday and Saturday, I usually drop 2 full-length episodes. And now I do what I call a snack-size episode. And so that's usually between like 15 and 25 minutes where I just literally get on there and rant about one single topic. So it's just a fun place. I'm reality TV, pop culture, music. I love a good Netflix documentary. And the person we're talking about today is the perfect,
hello,
right up there. So yes, just a little bit of everything.
Incredible. We're here to discuss an icon,
a legend,
a legend, a moment, like a criminal. It's the one and only Anna Delvey.
That's right.
You, Dominic, just so you know, you usually ask how we came to this. Kendrick was like, "Oh, we got to do Anna Delvey." I was like, "We absolutely do." I've been waiting for someone to pick her because I have been wanting to talk about her forever.
I feel like it says a lot about me that was immediately like, oh, I kind of want to do Anna Delvey. I don't know what it is, but immediately when I saw the name, I was like, oh my God. I was just obsessed with the show. Right.
There's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. That's why.
And you know what? When her show came out on Netflix, then they had like the other, like, I think it was like The Tinder Swindler was out. And Netflix was having a whole, like, I'm loving a scammer moment. So like I was in on all things scam. I listen, as long as I'm not a victim, and it's not depending on the scam.
Yeah, we'll get there, but she was frauding the people I want to be frauded. Not
exactly. I didn't want to say it out loud, but
doing a Jen Shaw. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't doing it. Yeah. So.
Like grandma's okay around Anna Delvey. She doesn't need that money. Yeah.
I couldn't even keep up with her in the beginning. I'll be honest, when she first popped into our lives, I would read about her every day for a period of months in the New York Post, she was born to be in the New York Post, obviously.
And $1,000,000,000%.
She was in there every day. And at the time, I almost had trouble following what it was that she had done wrong because she had exploded the most, not while she was committing these crimes, but when she was appearing styled within an inch of her life at all of her court appearances. And I think she popped into my pop culture brain. She moved in there officially when she wouldn't go to court because she wouldn't wear the prison issued jumpsuit. And that was when I started to take more of an interest in her. But then I didn't watch the series with Julia Garner. So I've been reading up on her just to prep for this. And as I described her to the two of you before we started recording, she is a heroine. She is a heroine in every way to me because, she didn't kill anybody.
No, so... I'm like on her side. Like, say what you want about me. I'm like on her side about it. I'm like, and her biggest defense, she's like, random white men do this every fucking day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm
exactly.
Like, that's true. Anyway,
I love it.
All right, Dominic, let's cut to the chase. Let's do the middle name game.
Anna Delvey, born Anna Sorokin, then later known as Anna Sorokin Delvey. Well, she doesn't have a middle name.
We don't know what it is because we didn't even know what her last name was.
Born in the Soviet Union, moved to Germany, then came to whatever her journey was. She didn't pick up a middle name along the way. So I thought, what do we do here? But just pick up another scandal-plagued white woman from the same era, and let's just guess Elizabeth Holmes' middle name today. Just for
perfect.
Because the two of them sort of came up together in varsity. They were ruling it.
Not Elizabeth Holmes together.
They came up together.
They did come up together, which is sad. But it is true.
Truly.
Like the two of them in a Big Brother or a Surreal Life house, they're there at the end. It's these two to the death.
Oh, for sure.
Elizabeth Holmes, born in Washington, D.C., February 3rd, 1984. She is an Aquarius. She went to Stanford University and then, of course, dropped out. What is scandal-plagued Elizabeth Holmes's middle name?
Louise came to me, but I'm not saying Louise. But I'm okay. Okay, hold on.
Carol is speaking to me for some reason. I don't know why.
That's a good one.
Incredible
guess.
I'm gonna guess Christine.
These are both very good guesses. I feel like the actual, it's not either of those, but it is in the wheelhouse of that. Okay. It's Anne, Elizabeth Ann Holmes.
Same family. Same family.
Yeah. And the boring family, the boring middle name family. Carol moved me. You know, she should change it to Carol, actually.
Elizabeth Carol.
Yeah. She should go by Carol.
This is the
first. She is she's Carol, all right.
She is.
Anywho, back to
Anna. So Anna. The two say, if you were as under a rock as I was during her opening moments, Anna Delvey, born in Russia, moved to Germany, started in 2013 pretending to be a German heiress, took this act to New York where she just sort of defrauded every rich person she could, from Ubers to meals, until what eventually brought her down was her setting up the Anna Delvey Foundation, which was going to be a sort of a Soho House club. And this is when, you know, greedy people, greed and gambling is all together. It's like you just get on a high with what you can get away with. She took her scamming of hundreds of thousands of dollars to people and then upped it to millions. And that's when people were like, ma'am, excuse me? Absolutely not.
Yeah, greedy.
The thing that's so funny, well, first of all, what she did, genius work, by the way, is she used to go to hotels and she would be like, okay, like my dad is like sending you like a credit card. What was it? The credit card authorization form, which Dominic, how many times in television when we're like booking, when like the coordinators are like booking crew hotels, if you're like on a trip, that's how they pay for them. You know what I mean? It is a very legitimate way to pay for a hotel if you're like going somewhere and it's a company and blah, blah. So she's like, oh, my dad's like paying for this. So like, give me a room. And they're like at a nice hotel. So they're like, sure, this happens all the time that like rich people do this. And then she would just charge everything to the room and then not ever have a credit card down. And so then she just would skip out on the bill.
Right.
And then basically she had hundreds where she would just be greasing people, which PS, again, respect. Because she would just be like, she would just be like, in the then fictionalized version of it on Netflix, there's that one character who she's like friends with. And she's like, oh, come with me and do this thing. And it's like bringing other random people into the grifts and being like, come to this really cool party where they're going to pay for everything. Come with me.
Right.
And like, she like created friendships and kind of was just like faking it till she made it. And like, what was she doing fraud? Yes. Like, was it illegal? Like, technically, is she skipping out on a bill? Yes, 100% that she owes someone. Yeah, 100%.
But she's got a good heart.
But it was like, I was like,
well, I don't even think she's got a good heart, to be honest. I think she's cold as ice, this bitch, honest to God.
But it's like there's a respect of it where I'm like, yeah, like rich people don't pay for things all the time. Right. And then just say, what are you going to do? Fucking sue me? And then she was just doing that, but wasn't actually rich. And so she...
To be clear, rich people not paying for shit all the time is the reason the rest of us are poor. Let's just be very clear about 100%. That from an economic standpoint. Also, we are fully aware, as Christopher just said, that this woman committed crimes. We are not advocating that anyone should steal or commit crimes, but the respect comes from juggling the dozens and dozens of people that she took money from. I know we sound silly saying it, but the level of concentration and organization it takes to sort of keep track of a billion lies like that. It's unfortunate that she has used her talents for crime, but you cannot deny that there is a level of brilliance with this woman in order to pull this off. It is, in essence, running a company is what she did. She ran her own company, the goal of which was just to steal from everyone she shook hands with, period.
It wasn't mom and pop stuff. It was literally, she was literally targeting corporations, huge foundations, and they were going along with it. Like that's what's really got to make you like, okay, if I were to walk into this place right now, could I get a room the same way she did for a week, keep charging stuff, and like just give some people $100 bills? Or did Anna have this certain kind of charm, or
she's such
just
an
come
odd
across
person? Yeah,
Right.
like just her, she has that weird, like, oh, you're a fucking weirdo, which means like, and if you're a weirdo and you're rich, like that, oh, this woman's a fucking heiress because she's like never touched the ground before. Do you know what I mean? Like,
She's related to Jeff Bezos. Absolutely.
Because you would, right, exactly. Because you would think that someone who has money, you would incorrectly think that because you have all that money, you would be incredibly guarded, incredibly trustless of everybody in order to guard your money. So in order to come in and inspire confidence to give that much money to somebody, she's, I don't know, A plus. Really, just A plus work.
And the thing that's so funny is like when she would be greasing these people with $100 bills, like later in the trial, she was like, it's not my fucking fault if these people like jumped at $100. And I was like, like, period. Like, I was like, they got me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like, okay, like, they were like, oh, you were greasing people. She's like, okay, is that illegal? She's like, no, I gave them $100 and they fucking did whatever I said because they're losers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, got me there, girl.
To the point where the one girl, even like, she knew she had been scammed and stuff, but she was mad at the one girl for like setting up the sting operation and like helping bring Anna down. She's like, you know what? You're a fake friend. Like Anna took us around the world. Like, yes, it was on other people's money, but like still, we went around the world. Like, you're not a good person for helping bring down Anna Delvey. I'm like, you know what? I kind of see it.
And and that was like a lot of Anna's defenses. Like, she's like, everyone else signed up to go on this trip. You know what I mean? Oh, and then they thought I was paying for it. Okay. Like, what if I wasn't? You know what I mean? Like, which again, there's a whole grift of the whole thing. I'm not saying she like is innocent, but like the thing I think that was so magnetizing about her is it called into question like how we value money in this country and also too like how we value like generational wealth. And like, oh, if you're a wealthy person that has generational wealth, you can just like do whatever you want and people will just follow in line, including banks. You know what I mean? Like the reason she eventually gets like arrested is because she can't prove that she already is rich to the bank and is trying to fraudulently get a loan.
Right. Well, that's the thing. She wasn't targeting people like me who, before I say I'll treat everyone to dinner, I have to go on my Amex app just to make sure there's enough room on the card. She was not scamming people that need to check and see if they're pretend rich in the moment. She exposed all of us with her crimes to people who just give away money and don't even have to care about it. And that's why she targeted them. You know, she wasn't targeting poor old people and taking their life savings. She was deliberately targeting people who had so much money, they would never know that it was missing. They wouldn't feel it. Again, a smart move.
Yeah. She was like trying to make a career for herself. At the end of the day, like, yes, she was like going to Morocco and like spending all that money and then they like apprehended her and all that's like, you know, a bunch of shit went down and she was going to all these dinners and going to all this stuff and whatever. But everyone she surrounded herself with, that's what they did every fucking day, you know?
Can I ask y'all, because I feel like I forgot like this piece of her story. What was going to be the purpose of the Anna Delvey Foundation? Because I feel like foundation is a strong word to use. You're not like doing charity work. So like, what was her goal for this?
If I remember this correctly, she wanted it to be like a Soho House, like a members only club. But then I think what like the hook of it was, and to make it like a charity, again, smart, so that it could be like a 501c3 and not just an LLC, which was her other grift, by the way. Yeah, and the grift of millions of people in this country, by the way. I think what it was going to be was like, it was going to be art. There was going to be like all this art there. And she was going to be like highlighting new and up and coming New York local artists and have these rich Nepo baby people like invest in these artists and like make them really big. I'm like pretty sure that's what it was. Because, and I walk by that building that she wanted to get, like it's still up there. It was a museum for a little bit now. I think it's on sale again, but like you walk by it. I can't remember was it Damaris? We were like I was with Damaris and Corey and we were like going somewhere and like Damaris was going back to her hotel. It was while we were filming something. And I was like, Damaris, when you walk, like that's the building that Anna Delvey tried to buy. Like I was like screaming out the window at her, like as our Uber was like going away. I was like, there it is. Like, but like it's in New York. Like you can go see it. It's a gorgeous building, but it's like a humongous building on Park Avenue. It's like cost millions of dollars.
It was going to be almost like a boutique mall for rich people. It was going to have a juice bar, a bakery. You're right about the art. It was going to be there was going to be art space in there. There were going to be creator studios in there and there were going to be restaurants. It was essentially going to be like a little hamlet for rich people. It'd be like the Manhattan Mall, but for Leona Helmsley.
But that's Casa Cipriani, that's Soho House, that's Noy House, that all these like elevated like WeWorks. Like there's a million of them now in Manhattan. She's not I mean, hers was going to be like gorgeous, but like there's a million of those. You know what I mean? Like what was she doing differently than anyone else? Nothing. Really. She just didn't have the capital to back up.
Right. She was getting it done for free was the thing she was doing differently. Right.
Which like it would have been successful. That's the other part of it is it's like they were just like, no, you're not rich enough for us to give you this much money, which it is a risk for the bank. And so sure. But it's like she had all the people that were ready to sign up for it. She had the banker on the line with her that was like ready to sign it. Was like, I believe in this, but I just need to see your financial statement that like if this loan defaults, you can pay it.
You're right.
That was the only thing holding her back. So there's this journalist, Jessica Pressler, that writes this humongous New York Magazine article that is like, it's called How Anna Delvey Tricked New York's Party People. And it's like chronicles, as she's getting on trial for this, it chronicles everything. And that like explodes and she becomes this like larger than life, like pop culture phenomenon. And every day we're watching her outfits in the trial. We're hearing the testimony. It's like a paparazzi like bonanza. The New York Post is talking about her every minute that they can. And then like years later, after she goes to jail, like that Anna, Inventing Anna comes on Netflix. And I loved it. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought it was so good.
Shonda Rhimes can do no wrong in my eyes.
Like, yeah, for Shonda, like it's clearly Shonda. It was her. It's very Shonda level. It's very Scandal-esque. Like it's drama's very ABC. Like, you know, but it was like good. Everyone in it did a really good job. Anna Klumsky, which I think she deserves so many more roles, did such a good job. What is his name? Arian, the guy that's in Succession, that's like the friend, that's like the investor. Like everyone in it does really well. And so then like it she kind of resurges after she's been in prison and never, ever, ever forget at the end of the trial whenever they're like, do you have anything to say? And she looked at the judge and she just said, I never said I was a good person. And walked away.
Wow.
Like respect. Wow. I'm sorry. Respect. Correct? Applause. No? Yes?
Right. Well, that's the thing too. She's never, to this day, she has never broken character because it's not a character anymore. It's who she is. She has never expressed remorse. She has never tried to correct herself up to and including she goes on Dancing with the Stars. And at the very end of it, they're like, did you learn anything from this experience? And she just said, no, not really. Yeah. And doesn't even crack a smile. Everyone cracks a smile like she's joking and they don't get it. She's never joking. Anna Delvey is never telling a joke. She's just being Anna Delvey.
Again, respect. She's like, I did this for money.
Yes. Like, what did you want me to learn from this? I don't understand. Like, no, I hate him. I hate y'all.
We jump to Dancing with the Stars, but like, she like doesn't get deported and she like is on house arrest in New York. And then that's when the Real Housewives of New York reboot is happening. And everyone's like, she should be a housewife, blah, 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 this and that. And everyone's like, no, like, which I think she's not forthcoming enough to be a housewife. So it's like, it would be funny, but she wouldn't do well on the show.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Then it's Dancing with the Stars. And we're like, she's going to be on Dancing with the Stars. Everyone's like freaking out. And they're like, what? And we even joked on this podcast. We were like, are they going to like cover up the ankle monitor with sequins? P.S. They did. It was hilarious. She goes on the show. She's horrible at it. So she like gets eliminated, I think, in like the second episode. And yeah, she just goes up and is like, no, I didn't learn one thing. Like, she's like, no, I did this for money.
Can I ask you, I feel like, you know, sometimes when you travel, things feel like a fever dream. So like, I don't know if I completely made this up in my mind or if it actually happened. I remember I was in Los Angeles, like just in a random hotel room. And I remember the TV was on and I remember looking at like some kind of competition reality show. And I was thinking like, is that Anna Delvey hosting whatever reality TV show this is? And I feel like they said hosted by Anna Delvey at some point. And I was like, I'm making this up. Like I have to be making this up.
Yes, she did. Delvey's Dinner Club.
Yes.
The series that featured Sorkin hosting dinner parties in her New York City apartment while under house arrest with guests including actors, musicians, and notable figures. I never saw this. What was it on?
I want to say maybe MTV. Maybe MTV. There was something.
That's the problem. It was on MTV.
Yeah, right. You know,
that's like, that's our first mistake right there.
Here's what the Google AI overview is giving me right now.
Here we go.
I used to say, series new boss. Delvey's Dinner Club is a reality series featuring Anna Sorokin, known as Anna Delvey, hosting invitation-only dinner parties in her New York City East Village apartment while under house arrest. The show is intended to capture candid conversations with guests about Sorokin's life, image rehabilitation, and experiences with the criminal justice system. I never saw this, and I'm going to now look it up when I'm done.
No, and that's the thing is some of these people, they get it. Everyone's like, oh, they should be on a reality show. And then they get one and no one watches it.
Exactly.
That's the thing. And it's like, because there's a part of her, because I watched her on Z-Way. Z-Way did an interview with her, which again, perfect. That's a pairing of the ages is Z-Way and Anna Delvey.
That makes sense.
She's very like guarded, and she's very like, she keeps that shroud of mystery, even though we all know. Like we all know it, but she's still doing it. Like when Z-Way was like, did you defraud people? And she's like, did I defraud people? And you know what I mean? Like she like is really smart in the way that she's like, the mystery is still there and we all still like, she hasn't like, you know how like we always say, and like I said this about like Erica Jane and like other people, like you want them to like take off the Scooby-Doo mask and be like, I did it and I do it again. Like, you know what I mean? You want them to be like, I'm guilty and I don't regret any of it. Like, you know what I mean? And like, and I would do it again thrice. And like,
oh my God.
That's what you want them to say. But she keeps this like shroud of mystery around her of being, and there are points that she makes that are salient that are where she's like, is what I did so bad? Like, you know what I mean? Like, or she's like, if you really look at what I'm being charged for, was it that many crimes? Like, not really. And like, I just tried to get a bank loan and then didn't give them any of the things that they needed. And so apparently I'm like a fraudulent person, but like, and it's like, yeah, I'm like, you're not wrong, but you're not right. And it's this weird gray middle area where like she lives there and it's so good for her to live there because it keeps her so relevant.
And you know what else is smart? First of all, I wonder how many people are listening who are like aghast that we're sitting here like hanging this woman on a cross. Like, again, I feel the absolute need to say, like, we don't endorse stealing from anybody.
No.
But there is as people who are in a business where you have to juggle 50 plates at a time and make sure none of them break. What she has done is a feat of organization that I don't know a production manager that could have done what Anna Delvey did in her life for so many years without getting caught. But the other thing is, in targeting people who are so wealthy, they are the last people who will admit someone has gotten something over on them, which means there are dozens more victims of her thieving than we will ever know, because rich people do not like to look stupid by nature. And, you know, it's like you scam someone as a Nigerian prince over the internet, some middle-class person. They're calling Matlock, Jacoby and Myers. They're going on the Instagram. Like, they're like,
going
I got
on 90 Day Fiance. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm humiliated. Help me. How could you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Rich people don't do that. They're just like, fuck, I'm an idiot. I won't be an idiot again. But I'm not telling anybody about this.
And like, remember when Michelle Obama was like, guys, like, I've been there. I've been at every single like dinner of like every dignitary in the world. Guess what? Everyone's just as fucking stupid as everyone else.
That's
like,
right.
Remember when she said that? She's like, you're probably most likely the smartest person in the room unless you're like a fucking idiot. Like, just know that like the world leaders are just as stupid as us. And like Anna like reinforced that for me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Of like, all these like, my dad's the like lead, like owns Procter and Gamble or like owns, you know what I mean? Like, it's like all these like, my family's this like savvy family. Like, and again, Succession was this, but like, no, they're just as fucking stupid as anyone else. And they're like ready to,
they are.
The minute someone gives them a little bit of razzle dazzle, they're like, oh my God, like I'm investing in you. Like you're a business savant, like, you know? And then I was like, yeah, these people are fucking idiots and I'm going to take advantage of them.
I think that Erica Jane example was literally the perfect example. It makes me think of that moment where at the reunion when Andy kept asking her, like, are you trying to get those $1 million earrings back? And she kept saying, we're on appeal. And he's like, well, that means you're trying to get them back, right? We're on appeal. Like, what is it? Like, what are you saying? And I love the just shroud of mystery that try to keep around every little thing that is happening. I feel like for Anna, it kind of works.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that's funny is like, it's like the property of it with Erica Jane is not, she's trying to be like, this is a court case I can't talk about. It's like, this like, it's not like privy and it like doesn't make any sense that like this is what you can't talk about. It's like
this isn't a sealed, like there's no sealed court
charge.
documents.
Yeah, like
you're trying to get earrings. Like we know what's happening.
Like, enough.
It's okay.
Yeah, enough. Yeah. I mean, then she's kind of just around. Like, she has an Instagram. She's like doing things. But like, she kind of like, since Dancing with the Stars, like, she's not really doing much. And again, she had a reality show. Like, everything we would normally pitch of like, she should have a reality show where she like is with other like socialites. Like, she did that and like, we just simply didn't watch it.
We need a docu-series. Because I feel like that's the mood that America is in right now. Not like a reality show. We need a docu-series where, you remember the Hulu Fire Festival one? Like Netflix and Hulu put out those competing Fire Festival docs. But then like Netflix put out the one where the guy was, like whatever on that one. But then
the blowjob guy, right?
The blowjob guy,
we only care about the blowjob guy.
Never forget.
Never forget blowjob guy. But then the Hulu one actually had McFarlane on there talking about everything that was going on. So we were like, we need that with Anna Delvey. Like, she's not going to admit anything, but like, I kind of want her to just...
She's not going to do it. I watched the whole Z-Way thing and she didn't give her 1 inch.
I need her to just like be there denying.
And like, but Z-Way was doing her usual shtick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of like being annoying on purpose, which is like in my opinion, the most genius thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's like in a category by herself, in my opinion. But like, Anna was like not playing the game with her. Like, Anna was not like she was just so like, she's so walled off. You know what I mean? And that also is what makes it so, because you want to break through it so badly and she'll never.
And you can't, because I don't, and that's the disappointment with Anna Delvey is like, you want her to be a drag queen. You want to know that at the end of the day, she's taking off this costume. Like you said, like the Scooby-Doo thing is a brilliant analogy. Like, I fooled them all. She operates on a different level than the rest of us. She is more like the Michelle Obama quote you gave than she is like one of us. Like, she already knows that she's the quote unquote smartest person. And based on all the shit she's done, she knows that people are just stupid. And she knows how to get people to do things that she needs to do to move her life forward. I don't feel like she's necessarily impressed with it, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think what she does to get money is better than a 9 to 5. And that's just the route that she's chosen to make money. But you look at her, and I bet that's why Delvey's Dinner Club didn't do well, or the Z-Way interview. And even she wasn't even playful on Dancing with the Stars. She's just she's a person who was bored with this planet the moment that she set foot on it, it seems like. Yeah. And until she has like some breakdown where we find out what caused her to be this way, she's just going to be like this. She's, even as I'm thinking now, like, how do we fix her? A lot of the fixes that are in my head involve her having some sort of like winking to the camera. Like, can you believe we pulled this one off? But she's not that. She's not.
She doesn't want to. And I don't think
she's only A side. You know what I mean? There's no B side to her. She's just this person. It's great.
And that's the Paris Hilton moment where like we finally hear the deep voice that comes out.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
But she won't give it to us. It's so frustrating.
No.
When she was like, "Mom, what are you doing?" Like, I was like, you would like scream that. P.S. That This Is Paris show is like the worst thing I've ever seen, and also the best thing I have ever watched in my life.
Like, give me 9 more seasons. Absolutely.
Like, and she just. The juxtaposition of her being like, "Mom, stop," and then her warming up to go sing, quote, like, again, the biggest skywriter air quotes of the whole world, to sing "Stars Are Blind" at New Year's Eve with Miley Cyrus, and she's singing and she's doing her scales, and she goes, "All the gays are sliving, sliving, sliving." And it's like, bum, bum. All the gays are sliving, sliving, sliving. It's like, I was like, this was not even anything I never needed to see, and I'm so glad that I did. Like,
oh my God.
But like, Anna has 0% of that. She's like, if you say to her, like, "Come on, like, you knew it," she'll be like, "What?" Like, she truly is like, "I just tried to get a business off the ground and they wouldn't give me the money because they didn't believe in me enough. And they wanted me to be more rich," which is the problem. Which, like, then I'm like, well, you know what? I agree with her. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, she kind of gets you and you're like, fuck, I'm on her side on that. Like, that would have been a really good idea and she would have been really successful at it. Why didn't they give her the money?
She's got all the traits of Robin Hood, except she didn't give her money to the poor. She just gave it to herself.
Sure didn't. Well, she did.
She brought a couple poor people around with her.
She was rob from the rich and give to me. That's the Anna Delvey way. Yeah.
The fix for her, honestly, might just be to let Julia Garner just continue to play her throughout life.
I know. I would love another scene. I would love the two of them. I would love actors on actors of her and Julia Garner across the table from each other.
If we get Patrick and... Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, we can get them. Like, come on.
Because I'm thinking like there's all the Patrick Schwarzenegger. There's all these like comedic things I want her to do. And I'm like, no, she won't do any of these. Like, it's like, because that's the thing is like, I want
but there is something there. I mean, I don't think this is a real fix, but if you want to take this, you can. You won't though. If we could convince Anna to sort of sell her life rights to Netflix and allow Shonda and Julia to make a season 2, like a fictionalized version of Anna's next steps, where we get to like see what happened to her leading up to this. Absolutely. Yeah. Like do what we want, like turn her into a drag queen. That would be great.
Oh my God.
I just don't think it's happening.
Even better, though, why don't we sell her rights to Netflix? I want a different director to do every season, and then I want it to be like in their particular style of film. Like I want one that's sci-fi. Like I want her as a lonely,
oh my God, I love that.
The lonely alien princess on Mars.
Sci-fi,
looking for money.
I want Quentin Tarantino to do the finale, and I want her to kill everyone that she's stolen money from. It's just like in that scene from Kill Bill. I want her to slaughter everyone in the club. Single person.
With a katana.
Love it.
It's hard. This is a hard one because it's like all the usual dumb shit that we pitch her, like we pitched the guest is like, she won't do this and it like will fail.
I know. Strangely enough, like out of respect for her, I won't even do a circus pitch because I feel like she would be so mean about it to me that I would shrivel and walk away. Whereas anyone else I wouldn't care about. I do have an idea. You know, the only thing, if Anna Delvey were ever to have a baby, because that is something that changes people's lives, men and women, that softens them up. If she were to have a kid someday, then maybe we would get a glimpse into, is there a B-side to this person? But I feel like she might think that having a baby is just a waste of her time. I don't know. I bet she wouldn't do it.
I don't, does she date? Like, is she dating people? Like, I don't think so.
Because what class is she dating in? That's the question.
That's the thing. She would need like a bajillionaire, but no guy with money is ever coming near her because they're scared. You know what I mean? Ooh. So
I have, what do you think, Christopher? Are we at the arena?
I think so.
I'm going to unroll the red carpet right now because you look like you're almost there. I think I'm pretty settled on a pitch that is half circus, half realistic, but I want to use Anna Delvey's skills to benefit all of us was the angle I'm going toward.
I we might have the same pitch.
Should I write mine down secretly just in case it is the same when I scream? I had the same one, so you'll believe me.
I will believe you if you just tell me this.
I don't know. I'm sort of inspired by Anna, and I don't think I'll tell the truth for the rest of the day.
Okay, goodbye. Okay.
Are we here?
Yeah, we're here.
Remember, she has no middle name when you address her.
Anna...
Carol. No, not
Carol. No, I wanted to be Carol. Anna, Carol.
Sorokin,
Delvey, Garner. Shondaland. Here's what I want. I want her to team up with like Julia Fox, Chloe Sevigny. Like, I want basically everyone that was in like that one Brat music video, like, you know what I mean? Like all these like New York-y people that Charlie was like having in that video. I want Anna there, like squad, throwback to Taylor's Squad. Like I want the squad, but it's like Anna's squad. And I just want her like out at dinner. I want to see photos of her out at dinner with like Charlie XCX, Chloe Sevigny, and Julia Fox. Multiple of those people, I'm like, give me 17 breaks, but then some of them.
That is such a great, like,
I just need her at a dinner, like
that's a great,
like, I need her in with a wine glass, and we see Charlie XCX like putting her credit card down to like pay for the dinner. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I need on just in an Instagram story. Like, I don't need it, and then let it get picked up by the Post. You know what I mean? I just need to see her in the world with other like charlatan people. Mainly, I'm saying, when I say that, I mean Julia Fox, who I fucking can't stand.
Right.
Like charlatans, but then also with some credibility of the people, aka Chloe Sevigny and Charlie XCX.
Yes.
I need her in that. I want her to be like doing a course online of like how to influence people. Like I want her to write a book about like influencing other people and how to get like, remember like those fucking charlatan books that are like, how to win friends and influence people that are like all smoke and mirrors. Like I need her to do like Anna Delvey's version of like the art of the deal. Like this charlatan book that we would all buy
Yeah.
just to read it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has money. And then I almost want her like just being a guest star in random TV shows playing herself.
Mm.
There's no big thing that's happening for her. I just want like these little, like, I'm still here and I'm like popping up and doing dumb shit and just being a person that's like in the news cycle.
And I also want to make it very clear that, like, I want that book, but I want to listen to the audio version of it. And
1 million percent.
Right.
It's like the reason that you need to have people think of you is so crazy. Like, Bubba, something, or wait, it's now turning into like Sofia Vergara. What is she? She's like, you're weird.
Yes.
Like, you're so weird. That's so weird. Like, or something. I can't do it, but it's like, yeah. But that's my pitch. I know that's like a weird one, and it's not just like, here's this thing that's gonna like destroy the world. Like, I just need her like in the cycle where then like one day we turn around and she's just like at a random party. And we're like, is that fucking Anna Delvey?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's my pitch for her, is to become
Love
like
that.
a New York ghost.
Ooh.
Here's
Dominic.
my pitch for Anna Carroll, Sorokin, Delvey, Carrington, Colby Dexter. I remember the movie Catch Me If You Can, which was based on a true story.
My
about a guy
all-time
named-
favorite, Frank William Abagnale.
Oh,
Yes.
well, then I already won. Goodbye, Chris.
For real.
All-time favorite movie. Yes.
I've been researching Ken this morning as well as Anna. No, I think that, I know that the movie is not entirely fact-based, like it's inspired by that Frank Abagnale story, but afterwards, he did become an asset to the United States government to teach them how to find people that were doing what he did. What I think Anna could do, and they'd have to pay her probably more than any other government employee who exists, only because she deserves it. But I would think, because now we're recording this episode at the end of the first week of June. So if these facts are historically inaccurate by the time this episode airs in a few weeks, I apologize. But we're in the midst at the recording of this of Donald Trump and Elon Musk having their Regina George girl fight on Twitter. We're like right in the thick of it.
Yeah, this girl is a fugly slut. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And it seems like Doge, which I truly never thought was a bad idea in principle. I just thought that having that idiot run it was the suspect part. But I do think that if they were to bring Doge back and have it run legitimately so we can actually see what government programs were,
effective
overspending, rather than just like, oh, Black and gay people are involved in this, let's throw it away, it's a waste. Like actual overspending. I bet that this woman would be an actual asset to knowing when people are stealing, because she obviously knows the signs. She knows who the marks are, and she knows she can identify people like her. I think put her in charge of whatever Anna Delvey's version of Doge would be, just to give an overview. And I bet she would actually serve this country well in doing so. Would you have to pay her $500,000 more than you pay the highest paid government employee? Yes. But wouldn't it be worth it if we would actually save money rather than just do some performative, discriminatory version with the world's richest idiot? I don't know. So that's my pitch. Put her to work. Put her gifts to good use to benefit us.
And weirdly, I feel like she would like take much pride in that.
And also steal
like
from
she'd
the
be like,
government.
I actually am worth this after. What'd you say?
And also steal from the government, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, please. We'd be like done.
We're championing for absolutely.
As long as it's a small enough amount that our taxes don't go up, just give her whatever bonuses she takes.
Yes.
Sure.
But that's my pitch.
Dominic, that was good.
Thank
I
you.
love this.
Two very different pitches. Mine's like be a socialite kind of, and yours is like change the government forever.
One of the greatest criminal minds of our time as the captain of it.
Okay, Kendrick, you can think about it. You can talk. We can discuss, but you must now pick one of these pitches to be the winner.
Okay, so we've got New York Ghost Theory, which honestly I think is probably on the way to happening now.
Sure.
I feel like we're in process of that currently. So that's a great pitch. And I really want that audiobook. I think it's my favorite movie of all time. I think I gotta go with Dominic.
Sure.
I'm sorry. The Frank William Abagnale of it all, because I always thought that was the perfect ending to them. Like that making him help you catch other criminals because he knows it so well. I mean, like, if only the government that like we have wasn't so egotistical that they could like do the same thing sometimes. Like, yeah, let him sit in jail for a while, but also like learn from. It's like when Disney hires those people that does like those super deep fakes on the internet, and they're like, "Whoa, this was way better than our movie. Why don't we hire this guy to come do some stuff?" So
that's talent, you know.
Exactly. We can learn some things. So I'm all about that.
Thank you. Thank you for the win. And I will say this. I feel like Anna Delvey because I now know that every guest we have on the show is a mark. Because now, rather than researching the people we're fixing, I'm just going to find out the favorite films of everyone coming on the show and just base my fixes on
and be
that.
like, a reboot of this show. Yeah. Oh, God.
When we have Paris Hilton on as a guest, I'm going to say, oh, there's this song, Stars Are Blind. I don't remember who sang it.
Goodbye. You know who should cover this? You know what they should do? Cover this song called Stars Are Blind. Maybe you've heard of it. Paris.
You know, a wise philosopher, Kathy Hilton, once said.
Goodbye.
This has been fun. Anna Delvey's fun. I hate loving a criminal. I do. But, you know, she didn't kill anybody.
No, I'm sorry. And I don't give like you were like giving all these caveats. I don't give a fuck if anyone.
I know you don't. That's why I have to balance the scales.
I can't wait to fight everyone. I can't wait to fight with everyone. Like, yeah, sure. She like tried to defraud a bank. Got it. Like, sure. But like, there's people every single day doing way worse shit and they're not ever getting caught because they are rich and people let them get away with it.
I mean, Wells Fargo gets sued every other day. So,
I mean,
what they've done to Wendy Williams. Don't even speak about Wells Fargo.
Hello?
Give Wendy her money, Wells Fargo.
Give it to her. Damn it.
Oh, God. Kendrick, thank you for being here. This has been a whirlwind.
It is a whirlwind. Thank you.
Tell everyone where they can find you.
Of course. You can listen to me anywhere you listen to podcasts. Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart, all of the places. I am the I Cannot with Kendrick Tucker podcast. That's IKEN, not with Kendrick Tucker. You can follow me on Instagram and Threads, where I love to be. It's Love Island season, baby. I am active on Threads, okay? My favorite, I hate to call it this, my favorite idiot watch of the summer is back in multiple versions, USA, UK, Australia. I'm going to watch them all, okay? It's at with Kendrick Tucker on Threads and Instagram. Thanks for having me. I love this.
Thank you for being here. This is fun.
How is Threads? Every time I go on there, I'm like, this is a cesspool.
You know, it is a much cleaner version of Twitter. You know, Twitter, sometimes you get on there, you're like, oh, there are a lot of people.
I know I couldn't. I was like, I can't, this is too much. I can't
do it needed time to grow. Yeah.
My Threads algorithm is like people being like, should I have been upset that this waiter did this to me? And then it's people truly, when I tell you, like threatening each other's lives in the comments of it. And I'm like, guys, like,
what is wrong with people?
This was made up. Like this was a made up scenario. And then people threatening that person being like, this wasn't real. Like, fuck you. And I'm like, are people okay? And the answer is no. Anyway.
No. Also, while we're here, whatever happened to Blue Sky? I think I'm still on that. Is that still a thing?
It exists. But like, again, what's the point? I don't know. I'm such a visual person. I love Instagram. But
yeah.
Speaking of, Dominick, where can people find you?
Well, on fucking Instagram, Christopher. What a coincidence. At Dominick Pupa on Instagram. My website's dominatory.com. I'm trying to update it during Pride to sort of match Insta, but Insta's sort of like where I'm spending most of my time these days. We also have a TikTok. I have a TikTok, Dominatory. We have Fixing Famous People Pod on TikTok. I know Chris is about to remind you of this as well, but please follow us on YouTube. It is becoming very important.
So
we can grow. So
the
please,
mukbang, do it. And we're like close. Like we are close.
Chris, are you going to gag the day we do that mukbang when I'm just sitting in the back and I've hired a PA to do the mukbang for me while I just
No, you're the whole reason we're doing a mukbang, so you have to do it.
Because you want me to gain 10 pounds in one day. That's fine.
I'm going to have a spit bucket. How about that? We can just chew it and then spit it out. But we have to do like the mouth noises. That's the whole point of it.
Oh, God.
It's disgusting. Anyway, Kendrick, don't even ask. Yes, don't even ask, Kendrick. Well, I'll explain it afterwards.
Speaking of vomitoriums, Christopher, where can our listeners find you on the whole wide web?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People. You can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Fixing Famous People, where right now we have one of each kind of bonus offering for free for the public. Don't even have to sign up as a free member. What are you waiting for?
And there's so much shit on there. I know we keep saying this, but every time someone joins the Patreon who's been resisting, they message us. I'm so sad that I missed this the last couple of months.
Guys, do you want to hear what Whitney Houston's spirit is telling us from the beyond? That's what I wanted. Yes, no? The answer is no? I don't think
Do you
so.
hear them? They're all saying yes. I can hear them.
Yeah,
Like, who
so,
doesn't
like,
want to hear from Whitney?
You can listen to that right now for free to hear what Whitney is telling us from the beyond. Anyway, I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.